Yo, it's been a while. Remember to give this video a like or dislike. Leave a dumb comment down if you want. And as always,
stay delusional.
today's video is going to be a tutorial on how to basically find the faults in Johnny's kit. And what I mean by that is that Johnny has a few problems when he's facing against certain characters in this game who have either small bodies or have weird hurt boxes. For example, with Soul, let's say you make him crouch block, just crouch, or either just crouch block, it doesn't matter. I just do it crouch blocking since it's easier to, for the explanation. Forward slash with whiff. It will just whiff, doesn't matter. This also happens with Order Soul, and it also happens with Cliff, with Faust, and Zappa, and even at certain occasions, it also tends to happen with Jam and ABBA. Now, if I were to go in depth to show you that it doesn't work against them, you can just test it for yourself that the forward slash whiffs against these particular types of characters, even 5K would whiff, which is basically this, would whiff against those characters. Against Soul, it doesn't worry. Don't worry about it. It will hit, even if they're not crouch blocking. It would hit. Will hit regardless. But against, let's say, for example, two particular characters, Zappa and Faust, it will whiff. If they're crouching, doesn't matter if they're blocking or not, 5K and forward slash will whiff. So do not use these moves against these characters. If you want to be able to get some kind of pressure against any of these characters, just go for 5 heavy slash. It's a better choice than using forward slash. I tend to do it a lot in my videos because I'm still learning the game. It's still very new to me in comparison to, let's say, XR. Is where I came from. Is where I came from when I started playing Guilty Gear seriously. Not that I was competitive, but I was playing the game seriously. In +R, you can see that there's glaring issues with Johnny, like I already said. Johnny also has particular problems when it comes to mix-ups because of the fact that he doesn't really have the tools that he has in XR Revelator. His 2 heavy slash in XR Revelator is much more potent. It has the ability to basically allow him to go for overheads a lot better since he basically comes off the ground and go for his misfinders in the air since he has different specials in XR. But since I'm not talking about XR Johnny, I'm talking about Johnny and +R. He has these problems where you'll struggle to really apply any pressure against the characters in the game. He is definitely much weaker in comparison to his XR counterpart. In the case of that, Johnny does have a few ways to at least try to manage to get some level of pressure onto the target. In this game, he doesn't have that issue where if he has no level misfinders, like level 2, level 3 misfinder, it doesn't slow down his cancel when he's going for any of the misfinders. So you have that liberty of just going for any type of mix-up right after. So let's say you're going for into 5 heavy slash, into whatever misfinder cancel, you have that liberty to do so without having this weird recovery phase when doing so. This allows you to do a lot of different mix-ups, especially in the corners, which is where you'll be doing most of your pressure anyways. Either way, it's not really a good demonstration of what I'm trying to explain, but in general, trying to perform with any of his misfinder cancel will give him a better outweight in this scenario that if the opponent is basically crouch blocking or if they're trying to figure out a way to get out of the pressure, you just implement all of these traits that I just mentioned, which is basically going for misfinder cancels with 5 heavy slash. Trying to, if they're about to move or try to get away by jumping, remember to always try to back away or either try to assess the situation and go for 236 P misfinder, or which I like to call high misfinder. Now, if I were to demonstrate a few other ways, let's say for example, if you're struggling to get yourself a level 2 misfinder, try not to throw them into a coin is one way. Trying to, let's say, get 6p immediately into a coin toss will give you a level 2 misfinder. These are just situations if you're having trouble getting yourself a level 2 misfinder, but you don't want to get the outright damage from going for a grab. Now, I also mentioned in my tutorial that you need to learn. You need to. It's not like if you want to get good at the game, that is, if you're just doing it for casually, you don't care if you lose or win, you're just doing it for fun, then fine. You don't have to look at this video if you don't want to. But if you're someone who wants to learn how to play Johnny and you want to get good at playing this character, this is a character that you, I don't know, you want to be loyal to because you like the character, you like the design, you like the archetype. You need to learn how to do FRCs. You need to learn how to do FRCs. It's detrimental to his gameplay to learn his FRCs. I have a hard time even doing them. But if you want to be able to, at least at, let's say, 50% of the chance do them, you need to learn your FRCs. Not like your ABCs, just learn your FRCs. And once you learn your FRCs, you'll have a better time engaging on against the target when applying pressure. Now, what do I mean by, let's say, some of the pressures that I'm going to be talking about? Well, let's say the opponent is, again, dodge blocking. Since Johnny doesn't have any single overhead move besides his dust that's universal to all characters, he doesn't have a grounded overhead at all. So this makes him a much weaker character in comparison to other characters that may either have command grabs or they may have specials or normals that have overheads. In the case of Johnny, he doesn't have any of this. So to apply some form of pressure against your target, you need to learn how to do your Killer Joker FRC and your Divine Blade FRC. These looks like this basically. Let me show you. There you go. I did it on my second try. Now if it's basically Divine Blade, there you go. First try. He does have two different Killer Jokers and Divine Blade. I mean, in this case, I'm going to show you one. The second one and last one is in the air, which is basically just doing it that way. It's not that easy. Once you play enough of Johnny, you may be able to do it enough times where you may get it on the first or second try. Divine Blade, much harder to perform in my opinion. There you go, third try. I got it. In the sense of, let's say, if you're doing a certain mix-up, let's say the opponent is in the corner. Usually, if they're in the corner, this is where you get the most opportunity to use your misfinders or use your Killer Joker or Divine Blade mix-ups to catch them off guard. Since I said already, Johnny doesn't have any overheads. And since air attacks are overheads in comparison, in this case, the character right now is in a state where they're gonna block anything regardless of what I do. So, to test this, if you want to know how to apply pressure by using aerial overheads. Now, one of the mix-ups that I tend to do when I'm facing against any character, doesn't matter which character I'm playing against, this is a B&B mix-up, I would say. So let's say, for example, the opponent is in the corner and I want to apply pressure. I misfinder cancel a lot to try to catch them in a scenario that maybe they might stand up and I can catch them with a 2 slash or maybe a 2K. But if, let's say, all that does not work and they know that you have no overhead besides dust, then this is another way you can basically catch them off guard if they are constantly crouch blocking. Doesn't matter if you mess up on your FRC, but Killer Joker on the ground, it is definitely a good choice to use when trying to apply mix-ups. Divine Blade is a little tricky since it doesn't have a roaming cancel point, it just FRCs. So I would recommend using Killer Joker in order for you to put down some form of mix-up against the target. Right there I messed up, but basically you get the idea. Use Killer Joker. Remember to immediately FRC or roaming cancel, doesn't matter how you go about it. But if you know how to roaming cancel it, you're better off since you use less resources when you're facing against the target. It is difficult to do, I will say. Right there, I did it. The other way is, again, using Divine Blade. But it's much harder to do, and if you don't get the FRC, you're going to get punished for it. That's why it's best to use this Killer Joker instead. Right there, you got it. As soon as you get that, you can do that. Though, don't use aerial or jump cancel K. It tends to not have enough time for you to then apply a secondary hit right after. So don't use it as often. Go for jump cancel heavy slash. I would say dust heavy slash instead. If you're high enough in the air, use it. Like I said, it's difficult. Alright. Now, one of the other particular types of mix-ups that you can do, if let's say you can't catch him with a Killer Joker mix-up or a Divine Blade mix-up, is his aerial version. So let's say, for example, you're using this 5K or 5 slash, close slash. You can do that or that. Though I tend to use just K, since Divine Blade actually hits. You gotta immediately jump and then go for Divine Blade right after. And then from there you can go for instant air dash to catch him off guard right after. Now with Divine Blade, sorry I messed up right there. No tricky. Yeah, it's very tricky to do, I'm not gonna lie. Now that's one way to do it. So using Divine Blade and using Killer Joker either on the ground or on the air, and applying them with FRC or roaming cancels, if you're using Killer Joker that is, you can get yourself a pretty good amount of pressure against your target so they will make mistakes and you can manage to hit them. A lot of players are impatient, so they won't wait it out in order for them to try to see, oh, what am I supposed to do against the target? The glaring flaw with this as well is that if the opponent isn't pressured, and let's say you were to go for Killer Joker while in the stance, or go for Divine Blade, they can easily just go for 6P, or they can go for whatever type of anti-air move they have while they're crouching. In the case of Soul, I believe he has, I think it is 2 heavy slash, I believe, or was it 2 slash? Let me see. Yeah, it's 2 heavy slash. So if you see, if you're facing against a Soul player, that's gonna be a problem. They can easily catch you off guard by doing 2 heavy slash. Other characters have their own gimmicks that you have to worry about, so if they see that you're gonna do Killer Joker to do some kind of mix-up, they can just hit you with that, or they can just go for 6P. In some cases, they can even just go for aerial grab and try to catch you with that instead. Now, if by any chance, let's say you manage to catch them with any of your mix-ups and you're in the right track in how you implement these moves against your target. But remember that you need to have resources. Your resources are important when playing against Johnny. If you do not have resources, you cannot apply any roaming cancels or any FRCs whatsoever. This is where it comes to an issue where you have to think to yourself, okay, should I use FRCs or should I just play more neutral with Johnny? In this case, if you're into the style of play that's more neutral based, then you have to play more careful. In this case, let's say if the opponent is standing and you want to be able to catch him off guard, then this is where you need to apply mostly misfinder cancels and misfinder confirms or poking in order to catch the opponent off guard. So if the opponent is, let's say they're doing that, you can catch him with high misfinder. I call it a high misfinder since it's basically just a high version of the misfinder. it's just 236p to do so. And if this case, let's say, if the opponent were to do that, you can either go for the 214 glitter coin toss. So if they're doing that, you can catch them off guard and do that. You can even follow it up with this as a means to get yourself a combo right after if they try to do an instant air dash. Now, since I'm doing a guide and trying to help you guys get the gist on how to apply some form of confirm or pressure with Johnny, this video is going to be edited so that it will make more sense to you, or at least try to, because I don't know, I'm not that great of a commenter, and I'm not even talking to you guys from a script. I'm just going out of the way with my own thoughts and opinions and how to basically play Johnny. So like I said, if the opponent is basically gonna do that, you can catch them off guard with that. If, let's say, you're in a far distance, another good way to catch him off guard is with 5 Heavy Slash. 5 Heavy Slash does actually have a hitbox point where it can actually hit opponents while they're not anti-airing, sorry, when they're air dashing. So if, let's say, they're about to attack you with some kind of move, you can actually use 5 Heavy Slash, and then right after confirm with either the high misfire or even mid if you want to. This can even be very detrimental to you depending if, let's say, you have a level 2 misfire. So if, let's say, the opponent is about to... My bad, I messed up. You can do that. I messed up the combo, but you get the gist. That is one way you can go about it, depending if you have level 2 misfire. Johnny in this version of the game depends on his level 2 or level 3 misfires, especially mostly his level 2. In XR Rev, he can depend on both level 3 and level 2, since level 3, instead of basically being a multi-hitting move like this, instead in Rev, it's more of a wall splat leading into whatever shenanigans he wants to do right after. Though I will say that if you were to have level 3 misfire and you were to catch the opponent, his level 3 misfire actually has a FRC point, which is actually far easier to do than any other FRC from what I've tested. You see, I just pressed it wherever moment. It doesn't matter which moment you want to do it. You can do it from the beginning. Just press it. You don't have to worry about it. Now, if you want to be able to get the stagger point, which is basically this, as you see, he's staggered right there, and you want to FRC it, make sure that during the 8th hit, if you can count all the way to 8. Okay, that was a joke. If you know that the 8th hit's coming in, you can then FRC the points. It can even be the 7th hit, I believe. Nah, okay, not the 7th hit then. Right there, you see? Right between that moment, that if you get yourself the 8th hit and they're staggered, you can do this as a form of combination. As you saw right there. So as long as you have level 3, you have the opportunity to either do one of those type of combos to catch them off guard. And the good thing about the mid version of Misfinder level 3 is that it also hits low. So if the opponent thinks, oh, the move is only going to be a mid move, no, it's going to hit low as well. So this is actually a good demonstration of how to apply some form of pressure if you have level 3 Misfinder. For the other two Misfinders at level 3, they're a little trickier. They require some resource. In the case of the high version, you're more, what's the word? You have more opportunities, is what I'm going to say. In the case of the low Misfinder, you don't. They actually get off the ground pretty fast, and you don't have enough time. So you have to FRC the move. That right next. It will hit, just that you need to be closer. So that is one way you can particularly use level 3 Misfinders. If you're struggling to basically do any combos with level 3 Misfinder and you want to know a trick to do so, just get level 3, do mid 8th hit, either go for force break or throw the coin first. That would be a better option. And right there, you can actually perform a combo, but you gotta be closer to the corner, actually. If you're doing, let's say, the level 3 misfinder in the high version, just do that. And there you go. That's one other combo you can not too close enough to do so either. Alright, messed up the combo. But you get the gist. That's another way to perform with level 3 misfinder. With the low version, you definitely have to roaming cancel. And I think you can FRC it. Just don't know if it's actually already possible to do it quickly enough. I mean, for me, it's not that easy to do. For others that may have more experience, or may have a better reaction timing or a feeling of getting into the FRCs, then you probably will be able to do it a lot better. Now, I did not mention Bacha Sai in my beginner tutorial with Johnny. That's one other thing that I did not mention. And the reason why I didn't mention it is because I really don't find it useful in a lot of situations. I feel like it's just a hindrance all the time since it's slow. And you have to learn how to FRC that one as well, which I forget to mention on my tutorial as well. That Bacha Sai has a FRC point. It's just difficult to perform. Right there. To do it, you need to basically time it as soon as he's about to basically sheath his sword again. But it's, like I said, it's difficult. Right there, I did it. So, if you've been from XR Revelator and you play Johnny, you know that Bacha Sai is a tool to help you basically get unblockable hits onto your target. So if they're basically blocking any of your hits, so let's say, let's make him block. Standing, doesn't really matter if he's crouching or not. I'm gonna leave my misfire to level 2, so in order for this to be a lot easier, since he's gonna be blocking my hits now. So if you get misfired, you can basically just do that. As soon as the mist envelops the target and you have a level 2 misfire, it can even be level 3, you can immediately hit them. Remember, he's blocking at this state. He's not you know, just standing still. He is blocking the attacks. But as soon as you get the mist, you can just use your misfinder. It doesn't have to be level 2 either, or level 3. It can be level 1. But if you want to make out the best out of Bacha Sai, then it's best to have a level 2 misfinder. Go for Bacha Sai into misfinder. Or you go into, let's say, knock down Bacha Sai into whatever Gatling combination into misfinder. That's another way you can go about it. In some cases, since one thing's for sure, Bacha Sai is hard to do the FRC. I did it right there because I'm just lucky. But if, let's say for example, you do get the misfinder, not misfinder, Bacha Sai immediately with the FRC, then you have your chances to do your mix-up. But if you don't get the FRC, they can jump out of the way. So what you can do is that if they do get away, just go for a high misfinder to catch them off guard, thinking that they may get away from you. Then you can do that as well. Now that's basically the majority of the things that I wanted to basically show in the video. I just wanted to show a few tips and tricks that you can basically try to do. Let's say for example, if you want to either get Bacha Sai, or if you want to know why you're struggling with Johnny. One of the things that I struggle with him is basically that his bar slash whips on a lot of characters in the game because of their weird hurt boxes or very small bodies. If I were to give you one more tip as to what exactly you can do if, let's say, you're struggling to get yourself a level 2 misfinder, right? By throwing the coins. Well, what you can do is that if, let's say, for example, the opponent is crouch blocking. Okay. Alright, they're crouch blocking. You throw your glitter coin like this, right? And then you go for a tiger knee. Sorry, a tiger knee and senka. It's little. There we go. If you get the Insenga to hit immediately, if they're crouch blocking, it doesn't even have to be crouch blocking, as long as they get hit by the Insenga, then you can actually then get the coin right after. Now, if you don't really have to go for the Insenga if they're, like, let's say, not blocking, and you can just do that right after. It doesn't really matter if they're not blocking. But if you know that they're blocking, that they're crouch blocking, then this is your opportunity to use this mix-up and catch them with that to get yourself a level 2 Mistfinder. There are other ways too you can get certain mix-ups as well. Not with the coin thing, but let's say for example if you want another unblockable setup. Okay, what I would do is that if I am in a situation where the opponent is about to get off from a knockdown and not just do this instead, in order to guarantee that maybe I can get myself the Bacha Sai, is that I throw a coin and then do that. That is one of the best ways you can get yourself in a situation where you can get the Bacha Sai to catch the opponent and then get yourself some kind of form of meaty, if that makes sense. So again, right there. So if they don't get hit by your normals, then Bacha Sai wouldn't even matter. But if they do block your incoming normals and the glitter coin hits them, or this while they're blocking, and you have a level 2 Mistfinder, then you have yourself an opportunity to basically do whatever the hell you want. As you can see, that's one particular way you can use Bacha Sai. I mentioned the other way around. Just use Bacha Sai, you don't have to throw the coin. So just, again, knock down into Bacha Sai. It's best to use some IFRC, but I have a tough time doing it. I just did it right there because for some reason I can do it at random. Not 100% of the time, but I can make it happen here and there. But that's definitely one way you can do so. Now, yeah, I think that's really all it is that I need to mention about Johnny. So in summary, Johnny has a terrible far slash that misses on targets, like I already showed. If Johnny is hitting you with far slash and they're crouching, it's going to whiff. It's just going to whiff, doesn't matter. Not all characters, but it will whiff. Now the characters that I already said that do have this problem is Zappa, Faust, Cliff, Soul, Order Soul, Abba, May, Jam. For some reason, at time to time, it may hit, it may not hit. And I think, yeah, I think that's about it. There's other characters I haven't mentioned probably, but characters with small bodies, they tend to, far slash tends to miss. Now, like I already mentioned, also that if you are having troubles with trying to get yourself any level 2 Mistfinders, and you don't know how to apply it because the person keeps on blocking you, there's ways you can do so. Try to say, if you get a grab, get yourself a coin from right there. If you get yourself, let's say, a 6p, throw the coin immediately. That's another way you can do so. And the old version is basically just get yourself a 2D into a coin. Or let's say you can OTG and get yourself the coin as well. That's another way you can get it. And of course the last thing you can get a coin from is that you can get yourself an Insenga right after, but it's literally very difficult to perform unless you have good hands for it. Then you can then do that as well for another way to get coins. This is an overhead. You can use this in the corner if the opponent is crouch blocking, like I already mentioned. My bad. Right there, if you just saw. And for combos, I don't really know if I want to particularly show any combos, as this video isn't really about a combo video or to illustrate combos. If you want some more B&B combos, or at least some better illustration to just show you, oh, you just want a combo video. You don't want to like listen to me banter or trying to talk about anything about Johnny. You just want a combo video, and not like one of those oh, I'm gonna put music and then put some, no, just like to show you a bit of B&B combos here and there so that you can then understand how to play Johnny. Then I will do that for the next time that I see fit, or if I get enough likes. Let's say if I get 10 or 20 likes, on my next video, or just 10 to 20 views onto my next video, then I'll definitely make another video to let's race some combos for Johnny. Now, for anybody who is still here, thank you for watching. Come back again, I guess. That's what I want to say. I messed up on my YouTube outro. Either way, thank you for watching the video, and as always, stay delusional.